If Boston's a city of neighborhoods, it can also be sliced and diced in many other ways. Thanks to new ways of picturing statistics, you can see the gradations and boundaries for anything from race and ethnicity to income, age, and education that comes together in an exhibit of maps, photos, and other materials opening tomorrow at the Boston Public Library. To tell us about the exhibit is our guest from the library, the co-curator, who's also Director of Education at the Norman B. Leventhal Map Center. We'd like to welcome Michelle LeBlanc. Thank you very much for being with us, Michelle. I know people who've learned about the center, even if they haven't gone there at the library, they've been online, they say, oh, that's where they have all those old maps. Now, these are new maps, but sometimes with some old information.
Yes, the collection in general, we have over 200,000 historic maps and over 5,000 atlases. This exhibition actually uses a vast majority of modern maps, and we do have a series of historic maps, mostly related to the 1910 period, which we selected for this exhibition, simply in a way because it's 100 years from the 2010 census, but also because it was a period of peak immigration in Boston's history.
It's also an interesting pivotal year because in the decade or two before then you had this proliferation of public transportation, you know, this rash of new houses, a lot of three-deckers were being built, so I guess that set the stage for things to change.
Yes, in the exhibition we don't deal tremendously with the middle part of the 20th century. We use the starting point. We talk about the fact that Boston was the second biggest port of immigration, for example, with over 500,000 immigrants coming through in that period, and the population was about 36% foreign-born in that time. And things have obviously ebbed and flowed, but we're in a period now of, again, of peak immigration, and Boston's foreign-born population is now at 27%, a little bit over even.
Well, I had a set of grandparents who were immigrants who settled in Dorchester maybe right around 1910. And I look at the map, this is not the Dorchester that I grew up hearing. This is different. I mean, look at the ethnic Anglo-Canadians. I mean,
yes, that was a very surprising map, and the geographer who created that is at the University of New Hampshire, Blake Gumprecht, and he surprised us as well, telling us that yes, there was a tremendous amount of immigration from mostly the maritime provinces in Canada. So they're not French Canadians.
Nova Scotia, maybe Scottish Canadians.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, the other thing that's interesting too is if you look at where people live, the immigrants in Boston, before this extension of the city into the streetcar suburbs, a lot of the immigrants near downtown. Now, I know we still have Chinatown and we had North End when I was young, but this is also quite different.
Yes, as you look at the maps, you'll certainly see that neighborhoods that have the highest percentage of foreign-born are East Boston, which is the highest at 50%. But Hyde Park, Dorchester, obviously Roxbury, Mattapan as well. So the maps really tell a wonderful story. We have a series of them that show where different groups, different foreign-born groups have settled in the city, and they're wonderful to look at as a collection. Really very informative, and we feel like looking at the maps is very different than looking at the statistics on paper. They really give you that visual element that you kind of can grasp the whole scale of the city.
So we had an Arab-Syrian community more or less at the cusp of the South End and downtown. The Jewish immigrants still live mainly downtown,
yes.
A lot of African Americans.
Yep.
So I guess when people see that kind of thing around 1910, they must think, well, the city changed after World War II, the city changed with busing. It just, well, maybe change is normal.
Change is normal. I think that's what we talk about when we talk about the history of immigration, that cities, they ebb and flow, groups come in, groups come out, and there are big changes that have happened in Boston, but new groups have replaced other groups if they've moved out. So I think it gives you a sense of continuity to look at the old maps and the new maps and think about, well, we're all, you know, this is in some ways the same thing that was happening back in 1910 in a way, that people come in and look for opportunity in the city.
Well, I know you have some new maps including about measures of diversity and income and age, race and ethnicity, but we should mention the event of the opening. You've got some things planned for tomorrow?
We do. We have a fantastic opening. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's a family open house, so we'll have family activities around mapping and Boston history. We also have a Cape Verdean band named Cruzamente who'll be playing, and of course tours of the exhibition. So we welcome everyone. It's free to all, just like the library is.
Right at Copley Square then?
Copley Square, absolutely.
Right. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Michelle LeBlanc from the Boston Public Library.